They are also a brotherhood.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So they cover up for each other?
Yeah.
Do you guys cover up for each other?
Well, yeah, I think like more of it.
To be honest.
No.
No. Say well, principle's broken, but to be honest, no.
How many of you guys have you in your group? You just got the 4 here today. Like,
Although I'm not really.
you're just friends? Like-minded?
Yeah. I mean, stuff all the time.
Why is it that, like, I hear where you're coming from in your anarchy state, but, you know, you wear a mask and you support the jab. Isn't that government also?
No, it's supporting just the community of people that you're going to be around. Personally. I'm not doing that for myself. I'm doing that for other people.
Okay.
If I was a selfish piece of shit that thought I was right about everything, I might skip the jab.
But what about if, like, you're doing the things and going along with your mentality and then you end up getting yourself, like, in trouble or getting sick or whatever, and you're like, well, I got sick, but I still got the jab because that's the right thing to do. I mean, is that okay? Is that worth it?
Honestly, yeah, because guess what? At least we fucked around and found out.
Okay. But I haven't gotten it, and I'm okay.
Yep, a lot of people.
I hope you luck out, and you know what? A whole bunch of other people getting the shot is also keeping you from getting it further.
Are you sure about that?
Absolutely,
I don't see any evidence
how herd
of that.
immunity
Where's
works.
the evidence of that?
I mean, numbers are dropping since vaccines.
So does eugenics, and so is our birth rate and vaccine-damaged children nowadays who can't have a conversation and are awkward socially. Isn't that true? Yeah, Asperger's and...
Buddy, you are deeply one of the most awkward people I've ever met in my life.
Okay, well,
Hyperfixation
you can say that,
here.
but there's plenty of people that are listening right now that agree with me. That the reason why this country...
echo chamber all the time.
Something doesn't make it.
Well, I mean, you guys are kind of in an echo chamber also, right?
No, we came out to talk to your lazy ass.
Sure. You came out here specifically to talk to me?
Yeah, because we heard somebody was harassing people in the fucking park.
Oh, okay, harassing. So it's always on them getting harassed, right?
If you're harassing people, then yes.
Okay, so nobody could harass me, right? Nobody could harass me.
Arguably we are.
Yeah, I'm harassing you right now.
And so I can't
need
like
to
stand
fuck
up for
off.
myself and defend myself. I don't have that right.
I mean, sure, you have the same right as anybody else to.
So
I believe
maybe
that.
next time, like, you might want to make sure you have your sources together and find out.
Yeah, clearly you've got your sources.
I do, yeah.
You believe
in NASA, and military would tell you the truth about where you live, but you're an anarchist. Yeah.
I don't think that NASA and the military are telling me where I live.
Yeah, they are. They're the ones who tell you about Earth from space and the ISS. Who do you think funds that? NASA. Your tax money. To fake your reality and make you believe in outer space and dinosaurs.
Why do you think people would put that much fucking effort into doing that? Like,
It's actually not that much effort because ever since television came out, everybody's brainwashed now. They can't think for
Except you.
themselves.
They're coming top down.
So,
Except you.
well, except me doesn't matter. Hey, what's up?
People, it's
Do you remember me?
Yeah, I do. Yeah,
Joshua,
thanks for
right?
up, Ben. Yeah, what's up, Ben? Yeah,
normal common
yeah. So
I thought I'd be back.
it's challenging. You know, we're just having some challenging conversations, trying to get an idea of perspective.
How often are you out here?
Like 3 or 4 times a week. I've been
You
doing this
gotta
for 4
respect
years.
that. You 4 years?
Yeah.
Why did you start doing this?
Actually, they just asked me. No, I haven't believed the Earth is flat my whole life. Actually, just 5 years ago. I actually grew up in Minnesota in public school believing the Earth is a globe. I had that on my screensaver on my computer 5 years ago. So in 2014, I thought the Earth was a ball. And then I was rational with myself and reasonable and thought about the fluid dynamics of water when it's contained and it lays level and flat. And so at what point, how much water do you need to make a ball float in an environment that you cannot demonstrate or have a natural reoccurring phenomenon of a vacuum in nature? That's science. So nobody knows what science is nowadays.
I don't follow that.
Can I ask you why it bothers you that people think that is happening, that water is sticking to a ball?
Because it's childlike. It's really not being rational and critical thinking at all. Because you can't do that here. Like
So,
if I
you
tip
have
this
a
liquid,
problem. Let me get
it
this
stays
straight.
level and dumps out of my pot. So if I leave it like this, it's level up to the very tip and it will never go over.
So here's my question. You think that it's childish, immature, and stupid for people to believe something that other people tell them, and yet you are here being the voice of reason, and we should believe you. Why?
I don't think you should believe me at all because
Well,
I
good,
can.
'cause I don't.
Don't. Yeah, because I can objectively see water behind you when contained, lay level, and flat. And at the ocean, when I see the sun travel further away from me, not the Earth spinning, but when the sun travels further away from me, it gets lower on the horizon, and that sun ray on the water comes all the way up to the shoreline, to my feet.
Because they don't think very
Yeah. Hold on just a second. And so when I think about, 5 years ago.
I mean, it's hard to come out here into.
I was introduced to it, into this concept.
Who
Can I see
introduced
this?
you to
A flat Earth sticker? Or those
Oh
other
yeah, you can
stickers?
have some of these if you want. Actually, it's something to remember me by. Here you go.
I don't know.
Oh, I don't need them all.
Well, there's a lot, and they have like interesting logos to them regarding flat Earth.
They are
So
kind of
like
interesting.
Coca-Cola, flat Earth, type of thing. So if you want more, you can dig in there.
Who introduced you to it?
A guy named DUBAY, 200 proofs Earth is not a spinning ball. And so one of the ideas was that the fluid dynamics, when at
It's not a
rest.
personal relationship. This is like
No, it was a guy that made a YouTube video about some proofs that were previously understood of why the Earth could be flat. And one of them was when water's contained, it lays level and flat. Sunset,
What was your background before that? Science.
no, just a guy living in Minnesota, doing my
That's
thing,
how I make my money too. The guy living in
just.
I'm curious.
And so, most people, what they
We're all
do,
curious. You don't see this every day.
Yeah.
I do.
Special shit.
No
Oh, you
worries.
do?
Yeah.
No, 4 days a week.
But
Okay.
people are really interested. I mean, like I was saying before you came, Ben, to these people here, I was talking to a girl who's into Black Lives Matter and whatnot. We really had like, with the Black Lives Matter thing.
Black Lives Matter.
But when she wouldn't go away though, she wanted to learn more about this. Like, so even though like we had this like, but she was still wanted to hear what I have to say.
Do you feel like this is a productive conversation?
I do. Yeah. I mean, I don't have anything against you guys. We're just gonna go home after this is all over.
What is
And
this
so-
red pill?
You can have it. It's just got some videos on it about flat Earth. So the idea would be that the North Pole, so it's like the globe, but it's on a flat surface because water's flat. So the center is the North Pole, and the sun has a relationship with the North Pole, so it's closer to it right now as it circumnavigates across the flat plane. And so it's literally just directly above us, in my opinion, 20 miles up, 30 miles up. And it's closer and smaller. So it's not 93 million miles away.
20 miles. That's like close enough you could actually touch it, huh?
People claim to have.
What would happen if you did go up there and touch it?
I guess you just disappear, to be honest with you. Like, that's what
That's
people have
probably
said.
that's probably why we don't know anyone who's touched it.
So when the sun right now
An experiment.
is above us,
How far can an air balloon go?
120,000 feet.
So
That's
You just
25
know it off
miles.
the top of your,
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I've been doing this for 4 years. I mean, once you know things,
You know the
you
things that people are
know.
gonna ask, and
You know
So
because
wait,
it's true.
If you would go 120,000 feet, and there's 5,760 feet,
It's 25 miles.
it's 25. You
Yeah.
can go 25 miles up in an air balloon. Okay, so you could be above the sun.
Yep.
Oh,
Or
dude.
in parallel with it. Yeah.
Hell yeah, dude. That would be the thing.
Well,
If I saw the sun literally below me, like
Yeah.
if I went from one side of the sun and went
that's
over.
what people claim to see on an airplane is that further in the distance there are clouds behind the sun.
Yeah.
So there's the clouds, the sun, clouds.
Okay.
So how is that possible if the sun's 93 million miles away?
I mean, is the person trustworthy? Is
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's the kind of doubting Thomas
Exactly.
thing.
And so, like, that's the thing, though, too, is you're inside an airplane. So when people say, I saw curvature from an airplane, well, I mean, I don't want to sound like a conspiracy theorist,
Right.
but you are inside a
I hate to sound like a
fuselage.
conspiracy theorist.
You're inside of a fuselage, which has a rounded frame to it with rounded windows, which are triple pane for the pressure. So for me, I have to just say there's too many variables. Your eyes, window, pressure, and then the exterior outside, right? So you can't tell me that it's curved.
COVID, there
And you
will
can't,
be
even Neil
because
deGrasse
of COVID.
Tyson says at 40,000 feet you can't see curvature. You can't get 25 miles and see curvature. And so the sun
You gotta take a trip over the sun, man. You just gotta do that.
that would be interesting if I had my own airplane, right?
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
a hot air balloon. I'm sure you could charter one.
I think hot air balloons only go 15,000 feet, which is.
Oh, you're saying plane
miles.
is
I'm saying like weather balloon,
Yeah.
high altitude balloons.
weather balloon.
So like weather balloons can go 25 miles because they have that pressure inside them to hold that weight, so they can continue to stay up perpetually. But what most people do is they just flip the globe with the disc floating in outer space. If you type in flat Earth, you get the Flat Earth Society.
Yeah, right. But the internet's full of lies.
Yeah.
So that's why I'd have to see it with my eyes.
Yeah.
You know?
And so what I just suggest is that, don't replace one model with another. I mean, it's very easy to replace the globe with, a flat disc floating, because the idea is for most people is they want to hang on to space. They want to hang on to outer space, right? Because we grew up with it. I grew up with outer space too. But when you find out that it's not real, and everything that they do about outer space, like this right here, is CGI paintings. Before they had CGI and computers, they would get hyper-realistic painters and paint the Earth. The 1972 photo that people, even like the people come to my table.
Wait. But this is technically I am your audience.
Yeah.
So this is you're satisfying my intellectual curiosity here. So
Yeah.
in a way, I want to give you space, but I also want to like direct where this goes a little bit.
Sure,
right?
yeah.
Because,
But hear me out. So like,
I'm here to be challenged, so I also want to insist upon like a linear place.
Sure.
In order to get to point B, I got to start at point A and get the path in between. So the next, if we're looking at the consequences of this, what about out here? Like what's out here?
I'm not sure, because down here, if you just take like military documents and what they have publicized, below the 60th degree parallel, which is right here, is an Antarctic treaty. And so even if you were to take, so even if you were to, if you were to look at the globe, you can't go below this border right here. So because of the Antarctic treaty, so anything outside of this area is, patrolled by military, because they got spy planes and everything. So you can't, as a civilian, just go down to Antarctica. So the idea, there's two ideas.
I'd have to though. I'd have to.
For what though?
To know.
What do you want to know?
Is it flat? Is it round? I have to go there. If this is really like it's not a thought experiment to me. This is
You're right.
the planet. This is where I live. This is my global home. And so if everything is to fit into place I have to go.
Yeah, for sure.
Nothing else. Internet's full of lies. There's as many, probably more, that contradict all of this. And how can I know? Like this, it's the idea that something that is true can look equally convincing as something that is lying, and there are people that are equally convincing to see both sides. The only thing you can do, even better than intuition, is your actual eyes. So I would have to go there. And so you tell me I can't, it's like, fuck yes I can.
Yeah.
I absolutely can.
Sure. Well, that would be the idea, but because of that Antarctic treaty and the exploration of Antarctica, like the only way you can do that is by like actual cruise ships, $15,000, and you got to go within the velvet rope. It's not like you can explore like you can explore here in America. In Antarctica, it's protected land. So the reason why they protect it, in my opinion, is because if it were an ice wall, like holding all the water in, it's because it shows that we are contained. And maybe that's the idea, because in 1927, they were showing people the Earth was a globe in the movie theater. Well, in 1927, we didn't have this technology to go to outer space, right? So it's predictive programming. They're programming the society into this kind of belief system in the future, but it has to happen earlier.
I'm not there yet. I'm still here. I'm still this.
But would they tell you though? I mean, like, but the thing is like,
I think so.
why do you really?
Yeah.
You think that they would tell you that the Earth is flat if it were flat?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got a lot of trust though.
Should I not?
Because they're not obligated to tell you, especially if it has to do with national security, right?
So, like, I think I'd need to find a reason to lie to someone, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, I suppose there are compulsive liars out there, but and I have reason, I think, to be, you know, skeptical generally, but
Maybe they got something here. Do you guys have a question? Are you interested, or what's up?
I'm just wondering what it is.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I'm just hanging out. I just hand out these here, so maybe you can check it out. But basically, like, what I do is I just challenge people's idea on why they believe the Earth is a ball if they've never seen it from outer space before.
Oh, okay.
And the reason why I bring that up is because
that's interesting, because we were talking about how can you know the sun is below 20,000 if you can go 25,000, but you haven't been up there.
Have you
Yeah.
heard of the gravity net?
What's the gravity net?
So I took a high school class, and it was about how planets in the solar system, their mass changes the gravitational pull of objects around them.
Sure.
So a bigger planet has a bigger gravitational pull.
Uh-huh.
I just didn't know if you
Yeah, I did actually. And can you demonstrate that and show me how mass attracts mass?
Not here right now.
So you can't do it. That's not science. That's a belief.
Okay.
So that's what I try to like share is that a Mormon grows up in Utah, they're Mormon. A Jew grows up in Jew, they're a Jew. So on and so on. Israel, right? And so when a person grows up in these religious ideals, they can't verify anything. It's just belief.
From the
So
inside.
so
Yeah.
I'm an atheist.
Yeah.
But like just an example, so I can't show you right now. But like I've seen videos of
Oh, you see videos,
yeah,
guys.
I guess videos. I've also been to a science museum.
Sure,
where
science
they put
museum.
like a big like piece of fabric on a circle like bar, and they put a big heavy ball in the middle, and then they show you how like
That's
a golf
not
ball makes
science.
Okay.
That's not science.
Yeah.
That's just, and I know that this is like, you know, going against where you're coming from, but the idea is you went to school, you just brought up school, high school, yeah, okay? And you learned about planets and stuff. That's a religion.
Yeah.
You didn't go to the planets and observe them mass attracting mass or on the bending of space-time. You read a book and you believe it without demonstration. That's not science. That's a belief.
Cool. I appreciate your
So it's not an opinion.
Oh, okay.
The religion is government would tell you the truth about dinosaurs and this and that, and they wouldn't lie about anything.
Yeah.
Dinosaurs real?
Have you seen one?
No, you have not.
Okay, so if you haven't seen one, the best bet for where you're at right now in your age is to not believe it. Because you believed in Santa Claus and the Tooth Fairy and so on and so on.
No.
Most people here did. And so when you stop believing in fantasy worlds and you start to be a man and realize like, hey,
Hey.
I can see that the world lays level and flat, and when water is contained, it lays level and flat.
Okay.
And I've never been to outer space, so why would I believe in an environment that you can't recreate here using the scientific method?
What do you think about like people that have been to outer space?
Those are no different than reading the Bible and saying, hey, I saw Jesus walk on water. So if you believe that man can walk on the moon and people believe Jesus can walk on water, you are both in a religion, government and spiritual religion.
Pictures and like videos and like measurements made by like satellites and people.
Satellites? 99% of all of our communication done on Earth is through ground towers, fiber optics, and high altitude balloons. There are no satellites.
Not a single one.
No.
Okay, cool.
Have you seen one with your own eyes?
Yeah, I've seen one in the museum.
You've seen like blue across the sky.
Yeah, those are lights in the sky. What is Occam's razor? Do you know what Occam's razor is?
Yeah, isn't that the theory? Yeah, we learned about it in the class that I was talking about.
You should make a model as simple as possible, but no simpler.
Yeah, it's basically coming to the most reasonable solution and conclusion.
Yeah, pretty much.
Is it most reasonable solution to think that lights floating and yeah, see, squirrel? So, but it's not very logical to see lights floating in the sky and then say that that's a UFO or a satellite.
So one thing is you. I think that it's kind of like it's a pretty powerful argument when you come up and people. I mean, and you hear these all the time, right? You're very experienced. It's like 4 years. you come up and people share what are roughly what are effectively anecdotes.
I share anecdotes.
No, they share
Oh,
anecdotes,
okay.
and you point out that it's an anecdote. I will rankle at the idea of calling it a religion, but I think it's a trust of authority.
What is religion, though? Let's want to define religion.
I'd say it's a system that surrounds the metaphysical and like unobservable.
Okay.
And I think, and I think that the claim that science is a religion, well, science is based on the observable. Granted, with like tools that not a lot of people have access to. And so, like, I see, I do feel the temptation to call science a religion, but I feel like that's not a pure correlation. Like, it is similar, and that's an appeal to authority and things that you haven't seen. And so it feels like inaccurate. Like, it feels like there's a better word. So I would say it appeals to authority.
Well, I mean,
and this goes into like your distrust of authority, like your generalized distrust of authority. This is gonna be like one basic like incongruence of our biases is that. I mean, no, I don't blanket trust authority, but I believe that there are trustable authorities, one, and two, that there are many. You know, like I see people as maybe self-interested, but not inherently malevolent.
So, what I've observed.
But to finish this idea, you say you call out that people are telling anecdotes, but and yet especially when they say science experience, but I don't see any science experience here. Like I think that would be a beautiful counterpoint.
What about experience, though?
Your
Isn't
experience?
40 years of me being on Earth, isn't that science and experiments and observations?
It does not
And then
outweigh.
coming
It
to
does not outweigh
conclusions?
like the hundreds of thousands, the millions of scientists.
Oh, okay.
as
So
well.
their opinions about my subjective and objective observations
It's the ensemble
are
effect.
moot because their authority and I'm not. They have a degree and I'm not.
It's the ensemble effect. It's,
See, that's
it's the idea.
that's a
do you know what the
religious
ensemble effect
that's a
is?
religious scientific hierarchy, and that's exactly what I'm trying to
It's an
find.
appeal to authority, and
But the reason, real quick
but
though,
it's your
because I want to
appeal
get back to the
against
religious talk, because
well, I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet.
But I asked you to define what religion is, and
I
that's
did.
not what religion is.
What the
Religion
fuck?
is
No, that is what religion.
no, religion is when you do things externally to show your appreciation or reverence towards a higher authority.
I don't think all religions.
So a
not
religion-
all religions talk about
that is
higher
a religion.
authority.
No, but
do
that's a
Do
religion.
some higher authorities not talk about a higher authority?
Okay, so
I think
let's get back to religion really quick. Religion is wearing a little tiny hat on your head and wearing certain clothes. Religion is putting a mask on your face when you're out in public because the television told you to. Religion is praying a certain direction 7 times a day, every day, because you have to appease a higher spiritual authority. People in religion for science appease to authority, which is government. That is their God. So they do things externally to show their appreciation or reverence towards government by getting the jab, paying taxes, wearing a mask, and those things that show that they're obedient to what they think is patriotic.
I mean, I think
but
that,
it's not.
I think those
That's
are
religion.
similarities, and I can see where you're coming from there. But I don't think that's
And believing
like
somebody else.
the essence of it, though. Like like a banana and an apple are both fruit, and they both have a lot of sugar. But like there are also differences there. And I feel like you're glossing over the differences to assert a pattern that I don't think is the characteristic pattern.
Okay.
Like for example, there's an essence of personal safety that comes from masks, right? Like it's not just a symbolic act. Granted, like
It is a
there's
symbolic
there's
act. The New England
it is-
Journal of Medicine
Yes, but
said
it
it's
is
literally
also,
a symbolic
but
act.
it is also like a practical thing. So it's both. So it's not just one. There's more nuance there, and I don't want that glossed over if I'm to follow you. You know what I mean?
I hear what you're saying. I don't agree with that because in the New England Journal of Medicine, it says that it's an amulet basically. Like it's literally like something that you wear
Do you have that
to
paper?
protect you from. Yeah, it's the New England Journal of Medicine. I can put it up right here. I mean, it's kind of actually quite ridiculous that they're so open to being.
I mean, again, I bring up the ensemble effect. Like,
Yeah, what is that? What you were gonna say that?
yeah,
again? What
so
was that?
I mean, ensemble, like as a word, it means think of like a choir, right? Think of like 16 people saying the same thing. And maybe some are flat, maybe some are sharp, but generally they come pretty close to the truth. So, and you know, again, I feel like there's very good reason for you, me, everybody to be skeptical of these kind of things. But in coming up with like a generalized worldview. And to sort of pick the parts that are interactive to study further and to take everything else, I think it's very worth listening to the
you spend money on things you need, right?
like generalized
you don't live
buzz
like a
that you
Mennonite.
get going around.
Like, oh, I'm not going to buy anything. I'm not going to use any technology.
Here you go.
Of course. It's cool, man. I'm patient. Is this in the abstract?
But that's just the paragraph. I mean, if you want to read the context of the first paragraph. But the last paragraph talks about how it's
That's a common
symbol.
insult that people walk
That's
That's a common thing, like, hey, become a Mennonite if you think Earth is flat.
Or if you're
Here, I'll. Do you mind if I like take a second to look into this?
Sure, yeah.
Cool. I won't take it. My bike is right
That's how
there.
people that feel extremely privileged kind of say, hey, if you think that, why don't you become like a person who doesn't even wear clothes or...
Hey, if you don't like this cage we put you in, why are you living in it?
I've experienced